Hello again, everyone. Here we are in our first match, first game of Eternal Masters. Let's hope it gets off to a good start. Got a Glacial Wall into Fact or Fiction and a Peregrine Drake, so a little soft on the first couple of turns, but I think that's perfectly fine. We got all of our colors as well. Actually, both of our black sources to start things off. Being on the play is nice. We can just slam a Glacial Wall into whatever he's got. I guess he'll be the one doing the slamming into our wall. And then hopefully we can find some action off of Fact or Fiction, and turn 5 we'll have Peregrine Drake plus something else. So the only way we could do any better, I think, is finding, I was going to say a 2-drop. We could play on turn 2 and curve out into the rest of our spells. But the only 2-drop that we have is the War Priest of Thune, which I don't really want to play until our opponent opens up with an enchantment. So hopefully our opponent comes back, assuming they took a break while waiting for the rest of us to submit our decks. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and start with Scoured Barrens, followed by an Island next turn. I don't have any double cast cost cards yet. Calciderm's a good one. Can play that after the wall, but we'll have to see if that is necessary. Flinthoof Boar. Okay. Just going to play Glacial Wall and see if he can break past that. Unlikely. Plays a mountain, this guy gets a little bit bigger. Another boar. Alrighty. Think I just want to play Calciderm here. Can maybe get him to trade 1 or 2 creatures with it. I think it's better than just Fact or Fictioning, and I can always, next turn, if I find an untapped land, play the Drake and Fact or Fiction. Could also just play the Cove. Our opponent's stuck on 2 lands, makes me very happy to play the Calciderm. Unexpectedly Absent could be pretty devastating to him as well. So I'm actually going to let him, maybe, if he blocks me, I can put 1 back on top of his deck if he wants to save it somehow. Right, so I'm tempted to just do it right now, because I'm pretty sure that'd be like a time walk almost. He would just replay Flinthoof Boar after drawing it. Could play Field of Souls. I think I just want to play Fact or Fiction and the next turn go for it. Perhaps that's wrong. Now you can cast some 3-drops, but still no mountains. Imperious Perfect. Okay. So his elves get bigger, and he can put elves onto the battlefield. That is a fantastic card. Here come the attacks. So let's first of all Fact or Fiction. Alright, what do we got? I wouldn't mind getting the days back, maybe. So that would have been a reason to Fact or Fiction right away. He would have had to, after he played the Perfect, I definitely should have done that. Then he would have been really tempted to give me the days or not. I wouldn't mind getting a land here, but definitely kind of want the days so that next turn I can Absent his Perfect. There's a lot of spells here that I'll be happy to pick up, but yeah, I believe I should have used Thoth, Fact or Fiction, in response to the Perfect, so that if he gave me the days, then I could just counter it there. So here, what's it going to do? I would not mind Deep Analysis or the Noble. Those are probably the 2 most powerful cards here. Definitely the Deep Analysis, I feel. So those are likely in different piles. If he puts like the Power Stone on the bottom pile, I'd probably still take Deep Analysis and Days. Although I really wouldn't mind getting the Power Stone and the Noble, as well as a land. I think that's what I would do in his situation, but without knowing what's in my hand. Okay, so Deep Analysis plus Noble versus Power Stone and Daze. Daze is pretty good when your opponent's stuck on land, but I think just having more creatures is going to go a longer way. I can probably beat him before the Imperious Perfect gets to be too problematic, so I'm just going to go ahead and take 2 damage here, block 1 of his boars. And let's see what we draw. It's an untapped land, it could change. Okay, so we have an untapped land. We have potentially 6 mana. We could cast Peregrine Drake for free. I think we're playing that. None of our creatures are in danger of dying, so Field of Souls is the last thing we need. I could use the Unexpectedly Absent to send this really far down, or just put it on top of his deck to make him draw and play it again. So I think we're going to start with the Peregrine Drake. There's no reason not to attack him with the Calciderm. We get one more turn with it before it dies. That'd be one reason to next turn play Field of Souls, so that when this does die, we get a spirit out of it. It'll be sacrificed, and this says we get a 1/1 flying spirit after that happens. So I'm going to play the Peregrine Drake for free, essentially. And then we get to untap a bunch of land. And then now, I could play the Noble and then Absent for 1. Wouldn't mind playing the Noble, actually. And then now I can unexpectedly absent him before he gets to untap and make a 1/1 green warrior creature. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to put this on top of his deck now before he untaps and gets to use its ability. Let's go ahead and put it under. Not sure if we're using that correctly, but without the days being able to counter him, then yeah, I think that's fine. We've got a clock here. He might have to start chump blocking with the Calciderm. We can get some flying spirits out of it. Alright, these both being 3/3s now. Doesn't change too much, however. Ooh, a Rancor. Okay. Still can't break through a Glacial Wall, however. Unless he's got another pump spell of some kind. Firebolt. That's a good one against us. Takes out my Noble. And he's just going to stay back on defense. Okay. So I think we just play Field of Souls and then Deep Analysis. I'm just going to go ahead and use the Analysis first. Might as well. And... oh, we won't be able to cast it then. I'm miscounting our mana. So in that case, Field of Souls would be nice to get a Spirit here. He does have a Firebolt. He can always flash back to kill it. But I do want to have some more flying threats. Feels like he'll have trouble dealing with that. So I'm going to go ahead and cast that. And if he blocks my Calciderm, then I'll get to trade with the boar and I get a 1/1 out of it. He'll get his Rancor back. He can't afford to just take 5 here. He's already taken 2 from the Peregrine Drake. I think that's okay. Next turn we'll have Deep Analysis plus Flashback if necessary. Rancor though. So if it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, meaning if it gets destroyed by a Thune War Priest, he'll still get it back. But I don't think it's going to do too much good for him. He's going to draw Imperious Perfect now. With 4 mana he could play it and Rancor the Flinthoof Boar. But again, it doesn't really do much as far as breaking through a Glacial Wall. With 4 mana though, he could certainly have other spells. He's got a Firebolt he'll be able to flash back in a moment. Here comes another red spell. Chain Lightning on the Drake. That's good. Can't afford to bring it back, unfortunately. But I get another Spirit. We still have flying threats here. Alright, let's go ahead and Deep Analysis first. Guess we're going to need double white less. We got plenty of white mana. Alright, Honden's fine. Silent Departure on either of those is okay, but nothing too impressive. I'm just going to go ahead and flash this back, actually. Holding up blue and white mana, I think. No need for black. Alright, Rift Watcher is acceptable. I'm going to go ahead and attack for 2, and I think I'm just going to bounce the Perfect back. Not much else to do with our mana. Just kind of keep him from overwhelming us with elves or something. Next turn we can hit him down to 4 and play a Rift Watcher, which will then give us lethal in the air. He'll have to flash back a Firebolt, assuming he finds his 5th land. Which is quite likely. But even then, he's in a bit of trouble. Still has 6 spells in hand, however. And even if he somehow clears our entire board and has his perfect on play, then Honden might be able to keep us drawing enough action that we can close things out. Right, Rancor plus the other thing, very likely. Go ahead and block, because if he kills it with some other burn or pump spell, I just get another Spirit. Carbonize, okay, that's fair. That way it gets exiled, so I don't actually get the Spirit. Okay, lots of lands. So yeah, I guess there's not much else to do except play land and both of our spells. Hit him down to 4. Play a lethal attacker and a Honden to keep the cards flowing after we gain a little bit of life. And we'll see if he can answer this. If not, like if he has to play a land and then firebolt one of my spirits, I'm okay with that. If he plays a flyer, we might be in a bit of trouble. We do have a silent departure. We can just bounce back. So I'm not going to block here. I'm okay taking 5 damage. I'm going to get to draw 2 cards next turn, and we'll have a silent departure, so it's kind of having a third. Yeah, he had to hope that we would block there, but we didn't. So we would have drawn all of our lands pretty much, close to drawing every land in our deck, but I guess that's the way it goes sometime. He didn't draw any lands after his second land. He got kind of stuck there. So Stupefying Touch, I guess, is not the most useful, except against the Perfect. We didn't really see much of what he had. Just some red burn spells, some boars, and that. So I think I have to bring this in just to deal with the Perfect, because that's going to get out of control really quickly. He's probably got other elves too that have activated abilities. This isn't very useful against Flinthoof Boars, since the only thing it stops them from doing is getting haste. But that really only matters for the 1 turn. Alright, he has Rancors. Seal of Cleansing isn't very useful against that. I kind of like Ticking Gnomes. 3 mana 3/3 does a good job of blocking and can deal 1 damage to potentially kill another. So I think I might play that. I don't think we're splashing with our 2 black sources. Not worth bringing in Gravedigger, Wake Dancer, or Innocent Blood. So yeah, what do we cut against that? Seems very aggressive, so I kind of am reluctant to play a card like Call of the Skybreaker, but it is one of the ways that we actually win, unfortunately, so I think we have to leave it in as a necessary evil. Deep Analysis might be worth cutting on the draw. Just a little too slow. Similarly, the Worn Power Stone. We really want to be playing a card like Prodigal Sorcerer, Noble, or Glacial Wall on turn 3. Oh, on the draw, I think we can afford to cut a Daze. It's nice that he saw the Daze, so maybe he plays around it now, always assuming we have it. But on the draw, I think we definitely cut that out. I'm just going to leave the Worn Power Stone in for now to get us to casting like a turn 4 duplicate or something like that. And hopefully that'll be enough. So I'm going to run this out and hope for the best. Stay tuned for game 2, everybody.